Welcome everybody. This is the first episode of Catherine Reddick and Joanna Lohman's Whitehill, she's married, sorry. of Women's Talk Women's Sports.
Women's Talk Women's Sports.
Yes.
I like it.
We're going to get a better name, but this is just the first episode, so it's a pilot.
We want to make sure you know it's women.
Yes, and we're talking, since it is March Madness.
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Go Tar Heels!
We're talking women's NCAA college basketball. Catherine.
UNC, number one.
Catherine filled out her bracket last week. Who did you have going to the Final Four, Catherine?
Well, to be honest, I actually filled out 3 different brackets.
3 brackets.
3 brackets. And in all 3, I had UNC Tar Heels winning them all. I had upsets. I had all ACC, which is obviously the wrong pick because the ACC has been terrible so far. But UNC always wins. How about you, Joe?
What a surprise.
Yeah.
I had the University of Maryland Terrapins winning the entire thing because I'm from Maryland. And fear the turtle! But let's talk about UConn women's basketball.
Let's talk about UConn because it's women's talk about women's sports.
Yes. And they have gone undefeated all season. They've
Right.
won their regular season games by an average of 31.5 points.
Yes.
What do we think about this? Is that good or bad for the sport?
Well, you know, the thing with women's basketball is you're starting to see a lot of parity. But with the Maya Moore and company of UConn, they've completely pushed that parity to the side. But the thing that's been nice about women's basketball is to see the University of Tennessee get a 5 seed, its lowest ever. So you're seeing parity, but UConn still being undefeated, beating everybody by a lot. There's still a little bit of ways to go. But it's exciting. Because if UConn gets upset, whoa.
It's almost like the Patriots.
Right.
And they lost in the Super Bowl to the New York Giants.
Right.
I think in women's basketball especially, there's a lot of top teams that are really good, and then the middle of the pack is where the parity is. There seems to be a few top teams that always do really, really well, such as Tennessee, who isn't having a good year. And how did UNC do this year?
UNC did okay. We won some big games, but we struggled a little bit. But I think UNC still has a shot, because you never know. They could be the New York Giants, the wild card.
True. I do recall the Maryland Terrapins, fear the turtle, beating North Carolina in the semifinals of the ACC tournament.
Yeah, I recall that too.
Yeah, that was a little bit disappointing for UNC.
It was a little disappointing. But I'm hoping that Sylvia Hatchell and company will come through so that UNC men and women will do what UConn men and women did and win both in the same year.
Do you think the women's NCAA tournament is the most popular women's sporting event in college?
I'd have to say that I do think so. Because every game is televised on ESPN, which is huge for women. Men's basketball is one of the most, the tournament is one of the most popular sporting events for men.
Yes.
So you translate it to women, and it's just exciting. You never know what's going to happen. Just like we're saying, UConn could lose. You just never know what's going to happen.
How do you think we get women's soccer to be as popular as women's basketball in the college level, and now since we're professional soccer players on the level of the WPS?
Well, I think that the key is media coverage, because women's soccer is one of the most popular sport in America because we win a lot, and people like to play it, people like to watch it. If we can just get a little bit more media coverage, our 64-team tournament that we have could also be just as popular as the women's basketball tournament.
Yeah, what about the WPS? How do we get people out to our games every weekend and get people to really care about the league and support it?
Well, I just think with this tough economy, people are going to be saying we need a family time because every day is just hard. And why not go see some amazing soccer players in the whole world? Because we have people from Japan, Australia, and France playing with us. Why not go out there? It's a cheap ticket.
Very cheap.
It's a good family fun event.
$20.
We always make sure that we talk to the fans afterwards.
Absolutely.
So you get the whole experience, so why not enjoy it all?
I agree. I think the WPS is going to be great for our country. Soccer is difficult because it's an enigma. A lot of people play soccer, but nobody wants to watch it. So I think in order for people to come to our games, we really have to reach out to the community and do shows like we're doing today, so you get to know us as people, not just players. Just to get to know Joanna Lohman as a sports newscaster, and Catherine Whitehill, she's married, also as a sports newscaster. And anything else you want to talk about today in our first episode of our show?
No, I think that we did a good job of summing up women's talk of women's sports.
I think so too. And next week we're going to cover women's volleyball. We did have a women's professional volleyball player here last week.
Very true.
Short